Hiya, 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 hiya. Hello. Hiya, 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 hiya. Happy, 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 happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy, 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 happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy, 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 happy Wednesday. Let me tell y'all real quick. One of the things that I do, and whatever, I would show it to y'all, but it's not a big deal. One of the things that I do when I go live here on YouTube, I literally and I'm doing it right now on my phone. But I have my MacBook set up so that, and the reason is, and this is just a tip for those of you all who go live and you create content or whatever, but I'm gonna tell you the reason why I do it. You don't have to do it. Excuse me. But one of the reasons why I do it is so that I can see what you all see. Because although I get a view here, the angle is a little bit different from what I can see that you all see, if that makes any sense at all. So I always keep my MacBook open and available so that I can see what you all see. But let's get into it. Happy Wednesday. I pray that you all are great. I pray that you all are well. Whether this is Wednesday, December 4th, 2024, or whether this is Wednesday, December 24th, or 2025, whatever time, day, year you are watching this, come on in and thank you for joining me. For those of you all who do not know, and I'll sidebar, I apologize, I'm getting over a cold. If you were with me last night, you probably heard me. And yes, I'm getting over it. I actually have a what is this? A Sambucus cough drop in my mouth. So I won't be coughing everywhere, right? So and we start. But it's okay. We're going to get through it. So for those of you all who do not know me, my name is Dr. JaNee Mobley. I'm affectionately known as Dr. JaNee, and I help women turn their purpose, their God-given gift talents into a profitable business while teaching them to overcome mindsets that will prevent profit, progress, and purpose. Profit, progress, and prosperity. What I like to call the 3 Ps. We don't go into business to not execute so that we can see the results that we want to see, right? So that we don't see the results that we want to see. We go into business to impact and to execute so that we get our customers and clients results, as well as receive the cha-ching that comes along with it. So as you come on in, make sure that you share this live broadcast. Tell me where you are tuning in from, whether what city, what country, what state. Just drop it in the comments. I would love to see who's joining me. I appreciate you all for joining. Actually, text this to about 2 or 3 people. Again, one of the things that I love about YouTube that's very easy. You can share the link via text very, very quickly. So tonight I'm going to talk to you all, and I've shared this before, but I'm gonna share it again because everybody don't know who I am. So as an entrepreneur, I work a full-time job. And in addition to that, I'm a wife, right? To my husband, we have 3 small kids, and I work a full-time job while building a business and doing all of the things, right? So tonight's topic is near and dear to me because I have been the person. How many of you all just don't feel like? I've heard about you all drop in the comments if you are an entrepreneur. So put a 1 in the comments if you are an entrepreneur. Put a 2 in the comments if you would like to be an entrepreneur. So a 1 in the comments if you are an entrepreneur, 2 in the comments if you would like to be an entrepreneur. So for me, in all transparency, I work a full-time job while being a wife, a mom, and actually in the process of building and growing a nonprofit organization as well. So I said all of the say all of that to say in transparency so that you can understand my connection to tonight's topic. So I want you to ask yourself, have you ever just not felt like doing what you needed to do, what was necessary in your business. You know you needed to go live, but you just didn't feel like going live. You know you needed to create content, but you just really did not feel like it, right? You came home from whether work or whether you're out doing whatever, or you just wake up and you just don't feel like it. Sidebar, sometimes you're not going to do anything. And I want you to understand it's okay to take a break. But I don't want the break to be so habitual that you don't do what is necessary to execute to get the results that you desire for your clients and for your business and income. So I'm speaking to the individuals tonight who have been having challenges or have ever had a challenge. You know you need to execute. You know you need to write this book. You know you need to start this program. You know you need to start this business, but you just don't feel like it, right? You tired. You done worked all day and you just don't have it in you. So I'm going to share with you all 3 mindsets that help me to get up and do what's necessary. Right now it's 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've been up since about 5:30. I have cooked. I have helped our son with his homework. I have checked my daughter's homework. And okay, whatever. I have helped my daughter with her homework. And now, guess what? Mama got to start and do what's necessary for business. So what keeps me going? What makes me get up and do what is necessary for my business, although there are times that I just don't feel like doing it? So the first thought, and I want you all to remember this, the first thought is I want you to know that it's not about you. That's the first mindset. Your purpose, because I teach women how to profit from their purpose. Your purpose is the reason that God created you. As a believer, and the foundation of a lot of the things that I share with you all are based on my relationship with Christ Jesus. So God tells Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 1 and he's having a conversation with Jeremiah, right? And as I read the scripture, he tells Jeremiah, before I formed you in the womb of your mother's belly, I knew you. So when you look up the word "knew," it means discern. It means to become acquainted with. If I get to know you, I'm getting to know things that you like, that you dislike. I'm getting to know where you work, what your family dynamic is like. So God knows everything about us, right? Even before he formed us in the womb of our mother's belly. And one of the things and this is just the understanding that I have, that God, before God gave me eyes, ears, and formed me, he knew what he wanted me to do and execute here on this earth. He knew the solution that he created me to provide for those who have the problem that I was supposed to solve. And what this tells me even deeper, because here's the thing, Jeremiah was a child in Jeremiah chapter 1, right? He's just a child. If you read his response to Christ after he tells him, hey, I called you to be a prophet. Here's the thing, and this is the other thing that I want you all to understand. Your purpose is not a choice. Now, you can choose not to move in it. You can choose not to execute and move in your purpose. But when God created you, your purpose ain't no choice. Your purpose is a mandate. In the eyes of God, you don't get not to do it, so to speak. This is a part of who you are. This is your assignment. So I want you to get a perspective of just how deep this is, even for me. So God created me with an intention to send me out to implement and do my purpose, right? That he would get the glory. So I want you to picture yourself as being a leader of a company, and there's a problem out there, and you being the leader, you send one of your team members out there to go solve the problem. Well, they come back to you not having the problem solved. You told them as the leader that, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to execute. And they failed to deliver. How do you feel as a leader? I'm sure you're really upset. I'm sure you feel some kind of way. Think about how God feels when people die and they don't do the very thing that he created them to do. That how would it feel if you died and you found out that God wanted you and you knew that God wanted you to do whatever his will was and you didn't do it? How dreadful is that? Right? So always remember that your purpose ain't about you. Your purpose is a mandate. Your purpose is not a choice. Your purpose is a commandment. You are required to do it. So when you don't feel like creating content, when you don't feel like showing up, when you don't feel like networking, when you don't feel like creating whatever the product or the service is that's going to provide the solution for somebody else, think about the fact that you don't have a choice. Yes, you could take breaks every now and then. Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to burn ourselves out. But I'm talking about those moments where you're like, no, I'm not going to do it. I just don't feel like it today. Next day goes by. No, I don't feel like doing it again. I just don't feel like it. And then the next day goes by and you still don't do nothing to execute the idea that you know you're supposed to do. Remember, it's not a choice. It is a mandate. Number 2, what helps me to get up and execute and do what is necessary in my purpose and build my business is I remember my why. I remember some years ago when I was in network marketing in a company called Legal Shield. And I've told this story before, so play like you ain't never heard it before, okay? But when my leadership brought me into the business, the first question that they asked me, it wasn't about sales. It wasn't about how much money you wanted to make. It wasn't about any of that. The first question she asked me was, JaNee, why do you want to do this business? And I was like in my 20s, I wanted to make money. That was literally my response. I want to make money. And one of the things that I learned from that company is that you have to identify why you are in business. Why do you want to build your business? If the first answer that comes to mind is money, that's fine. But let's go deeper. What will you do with the money? How will the money help you in a way that is not helping you now? Who will you be able to help? What impact will you have? Because remember, it's not about you. We are solutionists. Remember, I coined that word, okay? Solutionists. You are the solution to somebody's problem. You possess the solution to somebody's problem. So why are you in business? And I'm going to help y'all out. It has to be deep. It has to be something that is like gut wrenching. It has to be something that pulls you to doing what's necessary, even when you don't feel like it. It has to be the thing that even when people reject you and tell you no, that they don't want what it is that you have to offer, they think that your idea is not so great, that your why is what keeps you going. That even when the idea or the program doesn't work the first time, your why is what's going to keep you going. Your why is going to make you say, okay, where did I miss it? What am I missing? How did I fail? Even though this was a loss, what can I learn in this loss? What can I learn as a result of it? If you all haven't, make sure you share this live broadcast, right? And as you come in, share where you are tuning in from, right? It has to be something that draws you, that makes you get yourself up and say, although they said no, although things didn't work out in the business initially, I'm going to figure this out. So, excuse me. So every entrepreneur must have a why as to why they are in their business. I'm going to help y'all out. I have 3, okay? And you can just have one. My number 1 why. Let me start from the bottom, okay? So my 3rd why is this. My husband and I were homeless because we both lost our jobs. And long story short, we were too prideful to ask somebody for help. So we slept in our cars, and eventually we end up sleeping on people's, our family members' mattresses and so forth. That's a whole nother story I have to tell y'all for another day. And I was pregnant. I had a doctorate degree. I was good and pregnant. I was probably like maybe a good 6 or 7 months, right? And I actually found out I was pregnant shortly after, not too many months after I lost my job. Okay? So unemployed, had no place to stay of our own, with a doctorate degree, facing repo, and got to pay student loans. Bad, not the greatest combination. Okay, can y'all picture it? Like, excuse me, that wasn't the greatest combination at all. Like, nothing is excited about that story, right? So, long story short, it was through and in that experience that I said this to myself. I will never forget it. I learned prior to becoming homeless that Donald Trump had filed, as we know now as President Donald Trump, filed bankruptcy more than one time. And each time he was able to pick himself back up. And I literally said to myself, I said, now, this man is no better than me. He is no greater than me. He bleeds, I'm sure, if he gets cut, like I would. So I said, surely if he could figure out how to pick up the pieces of his life, some people don't survive one bankruptcy and come back. You done filed bankruptcy more than one time and made a comeback. I said, surely I can figure this out. And I said to myself in that moment, I said, never again. And I feel this way, never again will I ever be in a position where somebody's going to dictate my income, where someone's going to be able to fire me and I not have income. I'm going to dictate my own income. Number two, the Bible says, and this is the second reason my why. As you can see, I'm very passionate about this thing. My second reason is the Bible tells us that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. A good man, a good woman leaves an inheritance. How many of you all want to leave your nieces, nephews, children, grandchildren? And here's the thing, the scripture says your children's children. How many of y'all want to leave them with debt? How many of y'all want to leave them with nothing? How many of y'all want to leave them with them not knowing a clue of who you are? How amazing would it feel for your children's children, for your grandchildren, to be able to live off of your wealth? And what this says to me is God wants us to create such a great level of wealth. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry, y'all. That our children's children are able to stand and build upon. When you think about people, families like the Rockefellers, this one man created something that still his children's children, and there's a lineage of them, are still benefiting from. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So my goal is so that not only my grandchildren, and here's the thing, let me give you something even deeper than that. I desire to execute and build my empire. The one thing that I always say is that children don't do just what you say, they do more of what you do. So not only will I leave them an inheritance in terms of financially, me and my husband will leave them an inheritance financially, but we'll leave them wealth principles. Why? So that they can take the wealth that we leave them and build even greater wealth. So this ain't about you. So when I don't feel like it, when I don't feel like posting, when I don't feel like going live, when somebody tells me no, when I follow up with somebody and they show me they're not serious about building their business, so what? Guess what? I know that there are other people out there who need the solution. They need the solution that I have. Number one, and this is my number one why. Talked about this earlier. Jeremiah 1 says, and he's telling Jeremiah, I formed you in your mother's womb. Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. And he tells him that he ordained him to be a prophet. Jeremiah had no choice in the matter of whether he wanted to be a prophet or not. God told him, you're a prophet. Jeremiah didn't ask. He didn't pray for God to make him a prophet. He didn't do none of that. God formed him, knowing that Jeremiah would be a prophet. How do I know? The scripture tells us that before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. So he knew that Jeremiah, when he planted him on this earth, he knew that Jeremiah was going to be his prophet. Jeremiah didn't have a say-so in the matter. So in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, as a leader, if you as a leader send somebody out to go execute something and they come back to you and that is not fulfilled, that which you sent them to go do, you're going to feel some kind of way. So I begin to think, if God forbid, I drop dead and I haven't fulfilled my purpose, how would God feel? How would he feel knowing I created JaNee to not only empower women, but teach women how to build a profitable business so that they create wealth for their children's children, and she didn't do it? When I tell you, that thing sat heavy on me, because I want God to be pleased with me. So what is your why? Hi, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Monisha. Hello. So what is your why? Why are you in business? Why do you want to do hair? Why do you want to create hair products? Y'all drop y'all industries in the comments. What industry are you in? What is your purpose? Why are you doing it? Because your why, again, is what's going to keep you going even when things do not work out in the way that you desire for them to. You got to have something that's going to keep you going. When you look at all of these people that you think are and know are very successful entrepreneur-wise, do you realize that they suffered losses and challenges, but yet they still keep going? They have a why. Okay? Number 3, what are some mindsets that will make you execute when you're exhausted, when you don't feel like doing the work after you done worked all day? If you're anything like me and you work a full-time job and you building a business. Number 3, know this, is that consistency leads to cash. Consistency leads to cash. I'm going to say it again. And if somebody wants to, feel free to put it in the comments. Consistency leads to cash. Consistency is doing something. And here's the thing, in entrepreneurship, it's continuing to do the right things that will attract clients to know that you have the solution to their problem, and that will attract them to you over and over and over again. Why? Because they consistently see your presence in the marketplace. How do they consistently see your presence in the marketplace? They see you on social media. They see your content. They see you at trade shows. They see you at networking events. They see you consistently building. They see you consistently adding value. They see you consistently present. And one thing that I've learned, I'm going to tell y'all this. One thing I've learned, if somebody sees you, everybody who sees you today will not buy from you today. They won't buy from you today. But for some people, that same person may wait a year or 2 years. And because of your consistent presence, they're going to come right back and knock on your door. I'm going to give y'all a prime example. I'm going to tell y'all a quick story. So this is 2024. So we'll say about maybe 6 years ago, I met a young lady. and she was interested in my services. So I met her by way of a former client. And that's the power of treating people right and getting people the value and getting them the results. Because guess what? They're going to run tell that, right? So met with the young lady. We had our discovery session, and she asked me to follow up with her. No, let me scratch that. We didn't have a discovery session. But I just reached out to her, and she was like, can you follow up with me? So me being the person that I am, okay, I have a follow-up calendar and reminder. So she asked me to follow up with her like every month. I followed up with her, followed up with her, followed up with her. She moved away. Things started happening probably, I think probably 2 years. Maybe even 3 went by. Okay. One Saturday I'm at home, and mind you, I'm consistently on social media sharing content. Did not realize it. Okay. So I got a notification in my inbox. I need your help. I'm like, what? So I said, okay. So I asked her, how may I help her? What did she need? Same young lady. So she told me she was ready for my coaching services. Sent her the link. We had the discovery session. She invested and paid in full. She paid in full. Okay. I say all of that to say this. And it got me to thinking. 2 years later, me and her had not talked on the phone. We had no interaction whatsoever. But guess what? She saw me on social media. She consistently would see me show up. She would consistently see my posts. She would consistently see, I'm sure, videos and emails if she was on my email list. And right when her pain got so intense for the solution that I have, when her problem got so intense, who did she remember? She remembered me. Consistency leads to cash. When you show up consistently in your purpose, and here's the thing, you may not think people are looking. You may not think people aren't paying attention. There have been times I have come on YouTube and I'm the only person on my live with me. But consistency pays off. You don't know who goes back to look at your content when you're in the bed asleep. You don't know who's going back. I remember another story. I was on Instagram and I had some content that had been probably posted maybe months past. This woman commented on it. She commented on that and several older ones and hearted them. And it got me to thinking, this woman went through my content. You don't know who's watching you. You don't know who's paying attention. And something I always remember, another quick story, because I know people remember stories. So Joseph in the Bible, I call him Brother Joseph, the Joseph with the coat of many colors Joseph. Joseph was put in prison, right? If you all remember the story from the Bible, Joseph was put in prison, no fault of his own. And Joseph had a gift of being able to interpret people's dreams. So even while he was in prison, Joseph was using his gift. People were waking up. I'm telling my version of it, okay? All right. So people were waking up having dreams and they needed somebody to interpret their dreams. Joseph's gift, although he was incarcerated, was still working through him. He was still working his gift. He messed around in a good way and interpreted the dreams of the right person. When that person was released, they went back and told the king, when he had a dream and needed somebody to interpret the dream, they said, oh, I know who need to do this. He in prison. So the king releases Joseph to come interpret his dream. You don't know who will tell who about you. I have gotten speaking invitations because people have told people about me. Your consistency leads to cash. Consistency causes cash to come your way. The right consistency in your business. So even if you don't feel like showing up, even if you don't feel like posting, remember, if I want a financial gain, I got to invest my time. I got to do what's necessary. Okay? So not doing what is consistently needed to put your solution out into the marketplace, right, will derail your success. People, here's the thing. You can have the greatest solution of all time, but if nobody knows about it, how are they going to know to buy from you? It amazes me that after all of these years that Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, AMC, all of these different people have been, all of these different companies have been in business for years. And guess what? They still market. They still advertise. They still partner. They're still making sure they get their brand out there. They're making sure that kids are aware. If we talking about McDonald's, hey, have your mama bring you, or your daddy bring you to McDonald's. Don't have them take you nowhere else. Because they understand that the more that people are aware of the solution that they provide, the likelihood is when they get hungry, take them to McDonald's. If they are an ideal customer for McDonald's. You have to consistently show up in your purpose and share the solution that you provide. And if you all haven't, make sure you click the link below. Tomorrow I'm hosting the Mindset to Movement Masterclass for those of you all who are ready and sure about taking your idea and implementing it. So click the link below to get further details and register. The only thing that it costs you is your time of 60 minutes. Okay? So make sure that you join me tomorrow. So so consistency causes cash to come your way. But if they don't know that you exist, how do they know to come knock on your door? Okay? All right. So here's the thing. When you lack consistency in building your brand and exposing people to the solution that you have, it can, and I'm reading my notes here, it can also hurt the work that you've already put into your business. And this is where we talk about momentum. So I want you to think about all the work that you put into your brand, right? You've shared content, you've done TikToks, you've done shorts, you've done reels, you've done posts, you've gone live, and then after a while it's crickets. And I want you to think about the people or the person who's been following you along your journey. I have people who put comments and they have watched my videos or my shorts more than one time. Have they bought anything? No, not yet. But here's the thing. They may not buy today. But here's the bigger thing. I want you to come closer. They know somebody and know people that I don't know. So even if they don't buy, they value the content great enough, excuse me, that they're then going to share me with somebody who they know has the problem that I solve. And guess what? That person may buy. And that person has a network of people that I've never met before. So remember, you got to see that this thing is so much bigger than you. It's so much bigger than you. And here's the thing. If you stop, it kills the momentum that you've already created and built. It kills the momentum. You done all this work up until this point, and then you decide to stop. You killed the momentum that you built. And here is the thing. You never know what was on the other side of your next move. So don't always go with the I don't feel like it. And again, sidebar, because I'm this person. You must take time for yourself. I'm going to say that again. You must create time for me time. It's what I like to call being your first name. And the reason why I say that is because I'm married, I'm a mama, and those two roles are already have great requirements of me. So I have to take time to just be JaNee. Not JaNee the coach, not JaNee the mama, although I'm still always alert. But I have to create time so that I can pour back into myself. But I'm talking about the times where you know that you have committed to building this business and you're allowing your emotions and your feelings to stop you from doing what is necessary to get your voice out there. Remember, it's not about you. It's about the mandate and the ordainment that, if that's a word, it's about God ordaining you for your purpose, just like he did Jeremiah. Number 2, you have to remember why you're doing what you're doing. One thing that I know about God is that he's intentional and he's strategic about everything that he does. This is why we got to be alert. And in that same way, we must be intentional. You shouldn't just be throwing darts and hoping that you hit a bullseye. You got to be intentional. So what is your why? What are you hoping to accomplish with the money? What are you hoping to accomplish by helping your clients? I want to see my clients succeed. I want to see them not only make money, but I want them to help other people create success stories. This is something that I want to be like something that just rolls and gives over and over and over again. I want them to have success and help other people create success in their industry. This is that's another why. And lastly, you got to know that consistency causes cash to come your way. You got to show up. And I'm going to speak to you all, for those of you all who feel discouraged, where sometimes you feel like you show up and nobody's there. You feel like you post and nobody's looking at it. You feel like you show up live and 0 people are on live. Let me say this to you. One thing about going live, people are easily distracted. You're probably easily distracted while you're sitting here watching me. And if you paid attention to any of the numbers, where the numbers are, I think it's usually at the top. The numbers at the top, you can see that they fluctuate. So people go in and out. People are scrolling. A lot of people can't even watch a full reel or short that's 15 or 30 seconds long without scrolling through the next one. Don't take it personal. Understand that people are people. You got to understand that. Don't get discouraged if you go live and nobody's there but you. But let me tell you something, baby. You show up like it's 1,500 people on there with you. Excuse me. Because here's the thing about lives. They're still recorded. And if you on YouTube, if you make them public instead of private, if you haven't gotten to the monetization stage yet, guess what? Somebody's going to come back and watch your content. And you don't know who it's going to be. I remember a couple of years ago, somebody shared with me that Tyler Perry used to go on YouTube looking for talent. So you don't know who is watching you or who is watching you on the behalf of somebody else. You won't know where this goes until you show up and do it consistently, even if nobody hearts or likes or reacts or responds. Sometimes people don't even want you to know that they're watching your content. Have you ever considered that? Some people don't want to be seen. Some people don't want you to know that, hey, I'm looking at your stuff. I'm looking at your content. I've had people say, oh, I see your content all the time. Thanks for letting me know. Because it lets me know that I have visibility. Right? Because that was on Facebook. Because Facebook and Instagram can be so silly about algorithms and stuff like that. Okay, I ain't going to go on a tangent about that. But just make sure in times where you just don't feel like it, remind yourself of your why. Remind yourself that it's not about you and also remember that consistency will lead to cash. I hope that you all have a great evening. Again, if you haven't, make sure you click the link below and join me for tomorrow's Mindset to Movement Masterclass for women in corporate America who are ready to take their idea and implement and execute. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I appreciate y'all. And until next time, know your worth. Good night, y'all. Bye.